everyone, and welcome to part 5 of my series of videos for our 2017 trip when we crossed Newfoundland by ATV. This particular day we went from Howley and Deer Lake to Corner Brook, which is about 190 to 215 kilometers depending on where we left from. And the variance is there from the mileage is because half of us, we stayed over here in Howley for the night and we camped on the beach over here, which was a great spot. I highly recommend it if you're planning on doing any camping on your trip across Newfoundland. And the other half of us stayed over here at the Driftwood Inn Motel in Deer Lake. So some of us started over here in Howley. We drove over to Deer Lake, picked up the other fellas, and then we went north all the way up here to the Lomond Sinkhole, which is just really something you have to see if you do this trip. If you do this trip, you should probably try to get up there on your own and see it in person. So I'm going to back up here for a minute, go back down to Deer Lake and zoom in. You have basically a few options of how to get around Deer Lake. A lot of people send me emails and ask me questions about this because if you're traveling the rail bed, depending on what route you take, a lot of people will go east to west. You get to around Deer Lake and they're not planning on going north up around this area at all. They're just going to keep going west, and you'll come over here to the other end of Corner Brook and keep heading down on your way to Port aux Basques. Now if you do that, as you can see, this blue line here is the trail. About 20 kilometers west of Deer Lake it ends, right here in Pasadena. You can get someone to come pick you up in a truck and drive you over to this section over here, pick up the trail, and then keep on going west towards Port aux Basques. Now in my map here I do have a trail that looks like you can go past here. I don't know if it works or not. I know that if you leave Deer Lake and you follow this red section here, you can follow that and come out to Pasadena. So it's another route to come out to Pasadena if you want. And you might have some nice views of this mountain here. But and this road here I think works all the way down to bring you out to Corner Brook if you want to go to Corner Brook. But it's really rough. It's really boggy depending on the type of the year, or sorry, the time of year you go through. And it's lots of winching, really slow going. I suggest you stay away from that section. So if you're going to go straight west, you're going to have to stop here. I would recommend calling Cecil Anderson if you've only got a few machines. If you've got a bunch of machines, you're going to want to call a tow truck company with a big flatbed to come take a bunch of your machines for you over to this section. Now what we do the last couple of years to get around Deer Lake is we've gone north up towards the Lomond Sinkhole and then came back down and spent the night over here in Corner Brook. So depending on what you want to do, it just totally depends on how many days you have to travel and so forth. If you want to add an extra day, like last year we took 7 days, and that's how we did it. We took a day from Deer Lake, Lomond, and down to Corner Brook for the night, and then we took this orange bypass trail, but I'll explain that in part 6 about how that works. So when you're getting through Deer Lake to go up north, if you want to go up towards Lomond, you see this green trail. You can zoom in really close here. This orange trail is, it's not really a trail, it's a paved road. If you come into Subway or Pizza Delight or Tim Hortons or something to get something to eat, then you go back out on the trail. Just come out right where this shows you right here. This is the highway. Once you get over this overpass right here, it turns into a subdivision road, and the speed limit's about 50 kilometers an hour. So just watch for traffic when you cross the road and stay to the right shoulder, and do about 40 or 50 kilometers an hour. You don't want to make too much noise going through town. And to follow this through town, you come over this bridge, you take your second left here onto Goose Arm Road, and this road actually it's a subdivision, people live up there, but it turns into the end of it over here, turns into a dirt road, turns into a trail. So you just keep following this till you go north up towards the Lomond Sinkhole. So depending on what route you want to take, it's totally up to you. And if you haven't done it, I suggest going up to see the Lomond Sinkhole. It's just beautiful up there. And then when you get to Corner Brook, you have 2 different options basically of places you can stay. Last year we came out, this is all dirt road until you get to this little point right here. Then it's paved road. I think it's about 3 or 4 kilometers. You have to drive on the shoulder of the road here, and then as soon as you cross this bridge, the River's End Motel is right here. You can pull right in, spend the night there. There's a gas station right across the street, so before you leave in the morning, fill up, then jump on this orange trail here to get through Corner Brook. Or back here, you can take another trail. This one here takes you out to Marblewood Village over here. And this is a really nice trail. And as you're coming down this hill, you can actually see Marble Mountain, the ski hill here off in the distance when you're coming down that hill. It's really nice. And once you get to here, that's a paved road. It's a subdivision, and then you come out, you cross this bridge, and here's the provincial highway, but you don't have to take that. You can take Marble Drive, which is a subdivision road. Just go slow, like 40 kilometers an hour or something, stick to the right. And you have to follow that a couple kilometers until you can come out to Marblewood Village, which is where we stayed this year in 2017. Now, keep in mind, it is illegal to drive on paved roads with your ATV in Newfoundland, and if you do get caught, you could get probably a pricey fine out of it. Luckily, we've never had that problem. I know someone last year that was pulled over by the police, but the police let them go and gave them a warning about driving on the road there. But I think because they were going slow, the police were respectful with them and didn't give them a hard time. So those are things to keep in mind when you do the trip. So we finally made the Lomond Sinkhole, and this is actually really unique. It's basically it was a giant underground cave that collapsed on itself because of a lake that was running into it, or a river constantly flowing in there, and it eroded it over I don't know how many years. And so the water is still running. Now there's this big open hole, and luckily, I don't know who put them in there, but someone put a bunch of ropes in. With some of them have knots, some of them don't, but you definitely need those ropes to get down into the sinkhole because it's so steep there. So if you're going down there, I suggest you back down slowly and use your bare hands or a set of good grippy leather gloves or something like that. And then once you get down there, there's still a lot of slippery rock, so just be careful. If you're not too comfortable with rock climbing and things like that, maybe just stay at the top. Otherwise, you can go down and take some really nice photos, and I'll show you some of the pictures we took in some of the videos here too.
You can't even barely see him. He fits right in. He's just in gray. Yep, man. Sure.
Yeah. Wood stuff, that's not good.
No.
In the Lomond Sinkhole, there's Patrick down there taking the pictures. There's Paul way over there. There's Terrence and Dwayne. There's Bob. He came from way up there.
Okay, I just want to take a second here and go back to the map. In case you're wondering where all these GPS tracks are, if you're thinking of doing this trip yourself, you can just go to my website, crossingnewfoundlandbyatv.com. This is the home page here you're going to land on. The GPS maps and stuff go under the GPS and map section. Click on it. This page here opens up, and then this giant map here, the photo, just click on it and it'll open it up for you in a separate window, and you can zoom in. You can get a lot of information from this map. It's one of the single best things on the blog probably for you to figure out what to do. All of these icons are clickable. So for example, if you wanted to see some more information on the sinkhole where we were just at, if I click on that, the link comes up. These links will come up for you guys too. I put the GPS tracks in, or the GPS locator coordinates for everything that's in here. And like for example, if you click on this trail, it'll tell you it's 29.5 kilometers and things like that. So it makes it a little easier for you to plan your trip. Cloudy Pond's a really nice out of the way place to go have a break. By the time we got here, the guys were kind of hungry. We had some leftover moose meat still that we hadn't eaten up, and so the guys set up camp here basically with some camp stoves and stuff and cooked up the rest of the meat and some vegetables. And the place where we came right off the end of the trail, there was a couple of like small travel trailers that someone had left there. We're able to put our camp right in between the two of them there for lunch anyhow, and kept the wind down, and we were able to cook up the food pretty quick. And you know, we after we ate shortly after that, we were gone back on the trail. We stopped at Cloudy Pond and then on our way to Cox's Cove. So once we get to Cox's Cove here, it's a really nice little town right on the water. We pulled in to get some gas. Some of the guys went inside, get some Red Bull, can of Coke, you know, bag of chips, that type of thing. Had some snacks, and then after that, we drove down to the end of that road you can see in the background there. It was only about a mile or so, maybe not even that. And the road just ends at this really nice viewpoint. And we stopped, took some nice pictures. We weren't there too long though, because we still had a long way to go to get back to Corner Brook. So once we got our pictures in, we backtracked quite a few kilometers to get back to another trail that heads into towards town to Corner Brook. And we made up some time though, because the roads are in really good shape there. Okay, our day's trip is almost finished. That's Marble Mountain in the background. You can actually see some of the slopes on the hill, on the ski hill there. And once we get to the bottom of this mountain that we're currently on here, we drive through a little subdivision. We stopped to get some air, and one of Bruce's tires, his back left tire, was low on air there. And then we continued on our way to the Marblewood Village resort. This bit of video that I I'm using here is from my Samsung cell phone, just because I was fed up with my GoPro not working that day. I ended up getting it working the next day, but I didn't want to miss some of this mountainside here. It was nice. There was some stuff before that a few minutes back that I almost went back for because it was pretty nice, but I'll videotape it maybe next year's trip.
Put that spare tire to use yet? Stop taking it. Now get over the way. Tell us how you're feeling. Are you above one, Bruce? Yeah, probably.
Yep, rubber one.
So this is Marblewood Village. It's a really nice spot. We were glad we stayed there. Everyone had their own room, their own bathroom. It's basically a condo, like a house you're renting for the night. It's really nice. And I almost wish we were there another whole day to explore the area and then spend a second night there. But we weren't up too late that night. Everyone was kind of tired. We ordered a pile of pizza and then everyone hit the hay, and then we went on the next day to Robinson's.